Are you doing all right, Miss Lacy?
Doing great.
How's the family?
Doing wonderful.
Everybody's how you have a daughter-in-law that's a teacher, right? And a son that's a teacher.
All four of them are.
Oh, all four. Oh, both sons and both daughter-in-law.
Both boys teach at Harrisburg and both girls teach at Cross County.
And how have they been able to stay safe and everything? And
Well, we all got the COVID a few months ago, and we got it at church.
right.
And so we're supposed to be kind of immune for the next few months, but after that we'll be sitting out in the car.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been tough for the churches.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Miss Robbins Guar. I don't know.
Pronounced Gar.
Okay.
Okay. I'm closer. Does that help?
Yes.
Yes, that's better. Yeah.
Okay. Closer to me. I got my shot this morning.
Oh, good. Okay, that's good for you. We were trying to get it so that they would consider library workers as teachers, sort of try to sneak in under an education, but they said no, we have to wait. So
Um,
Well, I got mine over 2 weeks ago, so I'm halfway to the next one.
right. And they said that one of them is good for also the new strain, the new UK strain, but another one is not reacting so well to that or something like that. So I don't know.
I got the Moderna shot. I hope that's the one.
Yeah, that's what I got too. So we got the Moderna.
The Moderna, yeah. I think it's AstraZeneca is the one that they're saying is not as effective against the strain or something like that. And then I know Johnson & Johnson is coming out with one hopefully next month, but I heard the Johnson & Johnson one is only one shot.
Yes.
Like
That would be
you don't
good.
have to go back for a second shot.
Yeah, that would be
So,
nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. Once that goes on the market, I think that'll really speed things up because then you get it all in one dose and you don't have to go back again. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hallie said she's trying to log in right now, so maybe
Okay.
just a minute.
Okay.
Is that Rhonda as a Mark Tree secretary?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we got enough now.
I think we do if Miss Orr is on.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, I guess I will call the meeting to order then. And we'll start with our minutes. And everybody, I hope, has had time to read them, or if not, read over them quickly.
I have a question
Okay,
or a comment. In the first paragraph of the minutes, they have me listed as Truman. I'm Mark Tree.
well, what is Rhonda? Is she Mark Tree too?
Yeah.
Rhonda lives in Mark Tree, but she came on because Lepanto didn't have anybody.
Where are you from? Your address is Truman, right?
It's a mailing address. I live at Painway, but all my everything is here in Mark Tree.
So you have a Mark Tree mailing address?
No, I have a Truman route mailing address, but I live at Painway, and that's part of the Mark Tree community and school system and everything. And Truman is not part of our library system anyway, remember?
No.
How do you want it to be listed then?
I'm listed, I've always been listed as being part of Mark Tree. This is the first time Truman
Okay.
has been for me.
Okay, I think I just did it because you live in Truman.
So
I
it's
don't
all right.
live-
Mark Tree?
Yeah, we can make that
Yes,
change.
Yeah.
Maryland is Mark Tree.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can change that.
Thank you.
Any other changes in the minutes? Marilyn, it discusses in here about the payments for the Tri-County. Is there any updates or anything on that? Or, well, I guess we need to approve the minutes first before we get into that. But anyway, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as written, but with the one correction to change Truman to Mark Tree?
So moved.
Second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor of accepting the minutes as written with the one change, say aye.
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 All opposed? I think the motion passed, so we will approve the minutes with that one change for Truman to Mark Tree. Okay, next on page 3, we have the budget report. Angie, is there anything you might want to tell them about what's in red or?
Well, the reason the salaries part is in red is because the county approved that all full-time employees receive a bonus in 2020. And so, our budget is usually to the penny on our salary fields. And so that adds to the retirement and all that too. So that's where that's red in the
Yes.
salaries
Okay.
part. In 2021, they have made an extra line in case they do ever request another bonus, that it will come out of the other line instead of the regular salaries part.
Okay.
What line is in the red? I'm not seeing red on my page.
3,
The salaries.
Poinsett
Okay.
2020 budget detail report on salaries right at the very first.
So did Fran print that, or did you get, or did you bring the one you received from home?
I didn't get one at home, and a friend just printed this one off for me. What
Okay.
page number is it?
She doesn't have a color.
Okay.
Well, here's what it is.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
I think the copy of the one that came through the email doesn't have any of the color on it.
Yeah.
At least,
Okay.
yeah, mine, no, I don't think mine has a red line either, but I mean, I see where you are. It's just under that
Yeah.
3008 line salaries full-time. Is that what you're saying? And we just went
Yes.
over by $1,946.53
Yes.
because of the bonus. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be, the ones that are in red will be in a parentheses.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Year to
yeah,
date balance.
Yeah.
okay.
So did everybody, did no one
Again,
else receive their
What
packet in the
page
mail?
number?
I didn't get mine, Angie.
I paid extra for that to be received to you all. Judy, did you
I
get
didn't
yours?
I got
get
mine.
one.
The mail's moving slow.
Yeah. Well, I
We'll
got
get it
mine.
next week, Hallie.
What page number?
3.
Number 3,
Thank
Well,
you.
it says page 1 at the very top up there, but
but it's a
number
written
3
number
and
3.
3 and all the.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I have to add to that.
Okay.
Okay. So it looks like the budget goes on page 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7
Mhm.
in different formats.
Yeah.
Yes, the page 4 shows the year to date, the totals at the bottom of those. Amount budgeted to the amount that was actually spent in the year to date expenditures.
Okay.
Number 5 just shows, it broke down in the quarters, how much was spent per quarter.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then 6 is the collections.
Say that again, David?
Page 6 are the collections that were.
Yes, page 6
Okay.
is the collections. That's the millage, and that's the totals for 2020, the bottom there.
Okay.
We had an increase.
Yes, it's about 35 up from 30, about 35,000, almost 36, I guess.
Yeah.
And then page 7 is the other income, interest and fines and fees and so forth.
Okay. So you need a motion to accept all of this is the final budget for 2020.
Yes, the fourth quarter,
Okay, okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept.
Oh, no, I can't make the motion.
No, but I said, do we need, I said,
Yeah,
we
you were
need a
asking.
motion, yes.
I thought you said we have a motion. No,
No,
not
no, no,
me.
no. I
I'm
said,
just-
we
I'm
need
just-
a motion.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah.
So
okay.
moved.
Oh, wait a
Yeah,
second.
but-
Can I add something too? Well, I guess we can go ahead and do that, but we need to discuss the CD. But don't let us forget that. So after
Oh, okay.
discussion on these
Okay.
financials, okay?
Yeah, okay. But do we have a second on the budget report?
I second.
Okay,
Who was first?
Rhonda.
Rhonda, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Got it.
Okay. All righty, everyone. Yeah, let's vote to accept this budget detail report for 2020. Everyone say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion passed. Okay, and now then, you want to discuss the CD
Yes, ma'am.
here?
if
How
you'll go
much do
back
we
to
have?
That page 7,
Okay,
it shows at the bottom that we have actually 2 CDs invested, and they were mature in April. And so therefore we don't meet again until what, May? So you need to, make a decision on whether just to roll those over, or, ask for a better interest, whatever you want to do. Cash them in.
okay. Well, I don't know, any discussion on this? Anyone, with any ideas or? Do we have any projects that we need the money for right now or?
None that I know of. And we're setting good.
Okay,
I mean, I know that it's not getting you much money, but I mean, over the past couple of years, we have gotten 4,000, is it $300, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I guess.
Is there any way we can make a
Oh, yes, it is
conditional
4,000.
motion?
yeah,
Angie, can we make a conditional motion that if the interest rate is better, that we roll it over?
Okay,
Otherwise, leave it alone?
just leave it as is and just renew it.
What I'm asking is, we don't know what the interest rate will be in April. If it goes up, we want to roll it over, don't we?
well, but what else are we gonna do with it, even if it doesn't go up?
I really doubt that it'll be any more.
Yeah, I don't think it's going up.
No.
Kind of
Probably not.
my question would be how long you guys might want to have the CD in. Because if you wanted to do 11 months, then the interest rate is going to be a bit lower than if you were to do, I think 36 months might be your next option.
Right.
so
And we
you-
have two.
Right, so you could feasibly stagger them if that was something that you guys wanted to do as a precaution. You could have one that matures in 11 months and then one that matures.
I
in
think
more
that's what I
time.
was trying to ask and just didn't get it out right.
Do we ever review like competing rates so that we could see if we can get a better rate somewhere?
She checks at, I don't know, 4 or 5 banks.
Yeah, I thought we did just a year or so ago, didn't we? And we got,
Yeah.
or they were checking into it anyway, so.
Yeah, she really does check. This is Teresa, not Teresa, I'm sorry. Tammy Stanford checks with several banks.
Yeah.
Lumen, I think, and the two in Harrisburg. So.
I want to say, and Angie, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys used to stagger them more, and you have a sort of a unique opportunity right now since they both are maturing. You could decide to either keep the same amounts or maybe make them the same, like 50,000 and 50,000, but then have one go for a longer period of time. I think I would still have one be good for only a year, because if you really want to get that out because something comes along, I really wouldn't want that to, I wouldn't want both of them to go that long. But I could see maybe, or you can leave the same 30/70, but to me, that's really kind of what you want to decide. And then which, do you want the 30,000 to be on hand and then put the 70,000 for the 3 years, or vice versa, or something like that? So it's not only to Rhonda's point about checking for the interest rate, but it's also how long you want each one of them to go, right? That would be the two. Yeah.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Well, someone want to make a motion
So moved
to what?
to stagger them.
Pardon?
Stagger them. So
Okay,
we have a certain amount in one and the other, 30 in one and 70 in another?
well, okay, do you want to leave it the 30 and 70, or do you want to do it 50 and 50?
I like 30/70.
Okay,
Me too.
okay, which one do you want left for the longest?
The 70.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Okay, so we have a motion to leave the amounts the same, but to let the 70,000 be in a longer time period, CD. I don't know the correct term. Someone help me here.
A longer investment period.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, that is our motion, right?
Yep.
Okay, and a second.
I second. Marilyn seconds.
Okay. Any more discussion? Anyone? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. I believe the motion passed to stagger our CDs, but leaving the amounts the same. Okay. Now then, we have come to the, I think you said Tanya was going to tell us about the performance reviews.
So let me just begin by telling you guys in brief kind of what we're looking at doing. And we've started the ball rolling here at the main library. So we're doing kind of a twofold performance review process. So the first step is that each month, the manager is going to meet with their individual employees just on a one-on-one basis and review their job with them. It's just kind of meant to be a check-in. How is everything going? There's a checklist for them to fill out to kind of keep everything together. And I'll talk a little bit more in detail about that here in just a moment. And then after doing that for 6 months, there's then a 6-month performance review. So we're going to do that twice a year. And that one is quite a bit more structured. And again, I can provide you guys with a little bit more information. So Miss Andrew was kind enough to send the documents along to you guys so that way you can see what all is on it. my plan is for me to do these for the branch librarians. So I wanted to tell you guys about what all this looks like so you could have a better understanding. And I want to make sure that you're all okay with it before we do this. It would necessitate input from Angie. Yes, Miss Marilyn?
A question about, is this for the branch librarians and assistants too?
I would not intend to do it for the assistants. I would be more inclined to actually have the branch librarian do it for their assistant.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, because I don't keep in contact nearly as much with the substitutes.
Right, okay.
So for the initial meetings, I would like to direct your guys' attentions to pages 12 and down to start with. So page 12 is for that first initial meeting, which provides us a time to set up goals. You'll notice on subsequent monthly meeting checklists that there's a review of how the goals have gone. For the first meeting, we obviously can't very well review the goals that we've set up because we haven't done that yet. But there are questions there about attendance, and Angie can help me answer those questions better. So page 12 is for that initial meeting. So it's intended that the manager go through, fill this out, discuss it with the employee, and then have a conversation as we go. Okay. Page 13 helps provide some of those questions. So especially as you're getting started, you may not be sure what questions you may want to ask. And so that's intended to just kind of provide some guidance for the managers. And then pages 14 and 15 are for the subsequent monthly meetings. So page 12 is for meeting 1, and then 14 and 15 are for the months after that. And so after we do that for 6 months, then we have our 6-month employee performance review. Pages 9 and, I'm sorry? Okay. Pages 9 and 10 are meant to help kind of guide the manager in filling out the review on page 11. So as they're giving the ranking for job knowledge, they can look back on page 8, and look at the different elements they may want to consider as they provide their ranking. So again, this would necessitate some assistance from Miss Angie on just helping to better fill these things out. But that's roughly what we're doing. So like I said, my initial plan was for me to do these for the branch managers with input from Miss Angie, but I wanted to make sure that you were all right with that before we moved forward.
I'm okay with it.
I think it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm very glad to see this. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to make an official vote to support this? Or, I mean, I think we were just coming just to tell you, and probably wouldn't be bad if you all took a vote saying you were okay with us doing this. Yeah.
Okay. So we need I guess in a form of a motion to accept doing the performance reviews.
I so
So moved.
make that motion.
Okay, I think we have a motion and a second. So all in favor, say aye.
Okay,
Anybody else?
It looked like, I don't know, for some reason, I think did she have to go to another meeting?
can
Did
we,
Rhonda get off?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, well, can we be thinking about what officers to elect in our next meeting in May? Because Johnita is our vice president and she had to leave. And so, and we're supposed to do that in October anyway, but we had so much to do in October's meeting that we just, so be thinking about that, and we'll elect officers in our May meeting. Does that
Okay.
sound okay to you all to do that?
Fine with me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you have to adjourn this meeting, but please don't leave because we have a Crowley Ridge meeting. So I think
Okay.
the Craighead County people should be joining us. As
Do
soon
we
as you
need to do
guys,
something with the 21 budget though? I've got 2 more pages.
No, that's just for
Just a-
our use. That's just a
Okay.
copy of it, but you know, they
Okay.
have added a line since then, so I'll be giving you a new one the next meeting.
Okay, all righty then,
That's just
okay.
for your records.
Do you need a
Okay.
motion to close?
yeah,
We
Do you
need
need
a motion to adjourn.
Let's so move that we adjourn.
Okay, and a second?
Miss Haley, you're gonna have to second it. You're
Yeah.
the only one.
Yeah,
I second.
thank you. All in favor, say aye.
If you don't second it.
Yeah,
we can't.
I can't, and they can't, so.
All right.
Okay,
All right, so I hope Joe lets the people in now. So if we can just
Okay.
hang on a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave now, unless you,
No, I think we're good, Miss Angie.
I thought so. Thank
You
you
have a
all very
lovely,
much.
lovely rest of the day.
Yes,
thank you,
y'all,
Angie.
bye.
David, did we get an agenda for the regional meeting?
I did send it out in an email, and I thought that I had sent a copy to Fran. Is she still there? I'm pretty sure I sent her a copy.
Okay, I'll go see if she can run it off for me.
Okay, okay.
I don't, what time is it? It's
I've
always
got mine
5.
on my
It's Sunday,
phone.
Sunday.
Can you hear me,
Good.
David?
I can. And Mr.
got
Rick, I
help
see you.
today.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Mr. Kurt,
Hello?
are you still working from home or are you working at the office?
No, we've been at the office the whole time.
Oh, okay. You never were at home. Okay, okay.
No, when I was coming out of the hospital, I was for about a month last year. But I've been taking board meetings at home, but today I kind of worked right up till, so we're at the office.
Okay, okay. All right.
Hey, David.
Yes,
Hey, this is Mike Johnson. You can hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
I don't know what the problem is. I do Zoom meetings for other things, and where my name is, a little picture comes up of me so everybody can see that I'm present. But for some reason, the last couple of times that I've checked in with the library, it's just my name in a little black square. So am I doing something wrong or?
What? So down in the lower left corner, there's a mute and there's a video. Does that have an X through it, like a red line through it? You have to start the video
Oh,
in the lower left corner.
okay.
There you are.
Hey, okay.
All right. Yeah, I know. You're like, you and I are thinking like it's a picture, but they refer to that as a video. I know
Yeah,
the first couple of times
okay.
I was like, I don't want to be on a video. What I want to be in a video for? But yes, it is technically.
Well, every other Zoom that I'm on, the picture comes up, but at the last meeting and then this meeting, it didn't, and I didn't know how to fix that. Okay, lesson learned. You can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yes. All right. I
5:02. Are we ready to start?
6, 7. Yeah, we have 7, 8 people, so we're good to go. Yeah. It looks like Miss Passmore hasn't quite made it here to the library yet, but she should be coming along. So yeah, but we have enough. We have a quorum, so that's okay.
Hold on a second. Come here, Sissy.
Uh-oh.
She's got to help her.
We have a kid break for a moment. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
David, Angie did not get the minutes from you. They didn't make it.
Sarah, do you have a copy that you could send to Fran?
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at Crowley Ridge Regional Library. Has everyone had a chance an opportunity to look at the minutes? Are there any
Marilyn
additions
hasn't.
or
I'm waiting on a
corrections?
copy. I'm waiting
What,
on a
Marilyn?
copy. I'm waiting on a copy of the minutes. They didn't come through to Angie
Okay.
from David for me.
I can't see the attachment either.
Oh, I sent that I sent it on Friday. I sent the two board meeting minutes, and I also sent I should have sent that out to everybody on Friday. You should have gotten two emails on Friday, one for the Crowley Ridge, and then I sent another one just to Craighead County that had the Craighead County board booklet and also the audit on it.
I got it.
Yeah, I got mine.
I got
But I
mine.
didn't get the Craighead County, of course, but I got I got this one, so.
Did you find it, Miss Lily, or do you need me to send it
Yeah,
again to
I'm
you?
seeing. I found it.
Okay,
The two
okay.
separate emails. Yes.
Okay.
I'll go double check with Angie and see if she's found it.
Y'all want to take a minute to look at them?
Yes, please.
I'm gonna put myself on mute and call Joe. Somebody's trying to get in, I think, and hasn't been able to. So just give me 1 second, please. Or you guys can go ahead and vote on that, but.
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as written?
So moved.
Well,
Do I hear
I'll
a
second. I'll second then.
I think Sarah wants you to say who it is that's making the motion and seconding, don't you, Sarah?
Okay. Rhonda Davis moves.
And Judy Renicky second.
All
Okay.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. David, you want to update us on the second quarter budget update?
Okay, so yeah, that's the only other page that's on here. Everything is just moving along okay. There's not really anything out of line or anything like that. We got a little bit, Sarah will tell me if I'm wrong, I think we ended up with a little bit less in the state aid than compared to last year, but not because they voted for any less, probably because it just got redistributed differently because it's by per capita. So if other areas had more growth than we did, they ended up getting more money, but it's just a per capita is what it is. And so, but it didn't affect the budget. It was already the same as it was before, and everything I think is the same, right, Sarah? Yeah. So, and then you see down at the bottom, line 15, line 14, we think at the end of this year, we anticipate a budget surplus of about $5,100. And so we'll have an estimated bank account balance of $85,065. But remember, this budget works on the same as the state. So it's July through June. So that's why this is only the second quarter and we're in the third quarter now. So, but everything's rocking and rolling and looking fine. So.
Anyone have any questions for David? Comments? Do we have any old business?
Well, you have to make a motion to approve this, I think, so.
Oh, to approve the budget update?
Yeah, for the second quarter.
Do I hear a motion to approve the budget update for the second quarter?
Lily Zhang, so moved.
Here a second?
Rick,
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. So do we have any old business, David?
I don't think so. And the only new business that we have, we just spoke with the Poinsett County Board, but we have started Tanya's the mastermind of this, but we've started a performance review process, but we wanted to, and we can do it on the Craighead side, but we really wanted to make sure we could do it all across the board. And so we just asked them their permission, and they were very much in favor of that. So we're just trying to institute, make sure our managers are meeting with their people once a month and everything like that. And then there'll be a more formal 6-month evaluation that we'll probably keep in the HR files for everybody. So, but that's kind of, we've been working on that. We did manage to get the bookmobile out a couple times to make some deliveries, still not actually as a functioning bookmobile, unfortunately, but we were trying to figure out ways that we could take it. And the children's department, I think, took it somewhere, and I think that the kids were able to at least look out the window and look at it and see it and everything. And so that was all good. So, yeah. But so we're trying to think of other ways to use it. But other than that, I know that it's on our to-do list to be thinking about trying to get the route down, and we're going to be working on that. We're going to be working on trying to make sure we get permissions for stops at various and sundry places from businesses or wherever we think we can park, and make sure that they're all okay with that. And we're just slowly behind the scenes. So our goal is that when we finally come out of the pandemic, that then we'll be really ready to rock and roll. We're not trying to wait until then to do all this work. We're really trying to work on it beforehand. So so in any case, that's just one of the things that we've been working on behind the scenes. So, but we're excited. We're still excited. I know it's been sitting there for a while. It's got dust on the front, which makes me sad when I go through it, when I go in front of it, but we're getting there. So we're getting there. Anyway, so, but other than that, I don't really have any other announcements for the Crowley Ridge Board. No.
Does anyone else have any business they'd like to bring up? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Judy Renicky moves that we adjourn.
I hear a second.
Mike Johnson, second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. I guess we're adjourned then.
Okay, so if the Craighead people can stay, I mean, the Poinsett County people can stay, but it probably won't be so thrilling. So, but thanks for coming.
Stay well.
Okay. And then at some point, I think, hopefully, we might have to start down the agenda, and then Jeff Wicker is going to come and hopefully will take us through the audit. So, but in any case, all right.
Well, I'm going to call the Craighead County Public Library Board to order. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the Craighead meeting?
Well, they just said it to me.
David.
Mhm.
David,
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know that Miss Passmore has arrived and she's.
Oh, making her way. Okay, so maybe we'll just give it a second for her to get there. All right, Miss Passmore.
I am sorry. Right.
You go back in here.
All right.
All right.
Sorry about that. Can I take this off?
I think so, yeah. You might want to, I don't know if you want to close the door or not, but
All right,
yeah.
will do.
Yeah. All right.
I've got a 2-year-old. I'm babysitting my granddaughter, so.
That's all right. All right, so Miss Passmore, we just started the meeting, so she just asked to to look over the minutes, and you haven't missed anything too exciting yet.
All right. Oh, I'm
Okay.
glad I didn't miss anything exciting.
Too exciting, yes, okay.
Oh, too exciting.
Too
Okay.
exciting,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit, yeah.
So has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Any additions or corrections anybody can notice? I hear a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Kurt Hawkins so moves.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Jean Passmore.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. So David, you want to talk about the 2020 year-end budget?
Yes. So on page 4 is our year-end budget for 2020. And we really ended up sort of coming in well under, as you can imagine, there were several places where we just were unable to spend the money in areas that we normally would spend the money on. So we were able to pretty much get the materials that we wanted. Things like that were okay, but in terms of programming and doing some of those kinds of things, we were just down. And we were down even in buying materials, because there for a while, our jobbers were not sending anything out, or shipping's been slow, or a combination of several different things. So, so from that point of view, everything's been looking fine. We probably didn't spend as much as we normally would, maybe even up in the personnel. I think there were some pages that left, and I'm not even sure that we necessarily replaced them all. Again, we were just down for a while, and the full-time people managed to be busy and working the whole time, but not necessarily all of the pages. So I think we were down a little bit there. So, but everything looks fine. Yeah, I don't, we didn't spend all of our travel expenses, of course. We didn't spend a lot of different things. And so we tried to make adjustments for this year coming up, of course, on the 2021 budget. But yeah, as you can well imagine. So we ended up way down at the bottom on line 39. We ended up with still an excess of $681,288 that we would put into the special projects budget. So I don't know if you have any questions about anything.
Anyone have any questions of David? Concerns?
The only two places that we went over a little bit was line 20 in the electronic material. And of course, you can well imagine that we spent a lot more money buying e-books and e-audio books because people weren't coming to the library. And so we went from, man, I don't know how many checkouts. We were maybe at 18,000 or something like that. And we really zoomed up a lot in the checkouts. Tanya probably knows the numbers more than I do, but they've been very popular, of course, because they weren't able to get it for a while. And and then we went over just by $331 in the technology budget. That's usually the money that we spend on either technological things or services and things like that, software that we need. And so, but overall in that area of the budget, we had more than enough money to cover it from other places. And so it wasn't a problem like that.
So do we need to vote on the budget then?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve the year-end budget?
May I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
David, I see in line 37 for miscellaneous, is that something that you need to plan and readjust the category of spending for the next year?
Well, Sarah will tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was when we that was when we hired a cleaning crew. Is that for the cleaning crew is why that went over? And so we had our own people in the cleaning crew when we started the year. And so that money would have been up in the personnel area. And so when we finally decided to go to a cleaning crew outside, that's down in maintenance and operation. And we didn't have a line for them to take it out except for the miscellaneous line. And so that's why that went over. But no, in general, that miscellaneous line is fine. We only use it for things that we need. But in that case, that was what. But I think in the 2021 budget, we have a separate, we put enough money down there to cover that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, David, in line 32, the audit, I noticed it hadn't been paid for. Is that the audit for this year? The 2020 or the 29? It wouldn't be the 2019.
Yeah, it was for the 2019. Again, it was we just got behind in some things. And so we are actually, when I go to do the revised 2021 budget, we're going to ask to up that. So that's going to end up paying for 19's budget audit and for 2020's audit all in 1 year. So in essence, we're going to ask you to move that money over and do it. So yeah, it just it didn't get finished in time by the end of the year. So as Jeff, who has joined us, will let you know. Yeah.
Well, I know Jeff, and I sure know that he wants to be paid.
He does want to be paid, as I understand it. Yes. So
no problems there. I apologize if I'm late. I had 5:20 down as the start time.
No, I just had you coming in whenever you were here, and we'll stop our meeting and go to you. But let us vote on the 2020 budget first, and then we'll come to you. So just give us 2 more minutes. So before you make a motion to vote on the budget, on page 5 is also the special projects budget for 2020 and how it ended up. And then there's also the investment accounts. So if you want to take a look on page 5, it'll show you how much we've paid, how much we have left over or remaining of some of our projects moving forward, and then what we started out with on January 1st, and then what the account balance was on December 31st for the 2020 special projects budget. We went over, if you see in line 1, we did go over, if you remember, on the bookmobile because we did not account for taxes. So that was why we went over by that amount. But again, we had well over enough money. We got back, or I shouldn't say get back, we didn't really get it back, but we ended up not spending $8,500 for the garage. We still have the Brooklyn branch startup money. I only have really one more thing coming in, which is the back door. And in fact, I just got a quote for it today. They had gone out and looked at it a couple months ago, and we didn't hear from him. And it's whoever had done it got the COVID. And so then he was out of the office, and then he forgot about it, and then he didn't send to us. And so I'm asking, so I finally did last week, I asked my branch guy, well, what happened? Did we get that in? And so I literally just got the quote. So once that is in, then we can take it out of that area and put it back into the general. It doesn't have to be earmarked for that because we've gotten all the furniture in. I think we've gotten all the shelving in. We've gotten everything that we need to start up that branch. We just wanted to get a back door that has a special keypad on it. And so the way the Brooklyn branch is built, there's an area in the back that's it's an area for a public use area. But we don't want to get into the habit of giving out a key and then trying to get the key back and if somebody takes it. And so this is a special lock that it has where you give them a code that's only good for 3 or 4 hours. And so you give them this code, they put it in, they can use it, they can get in. And then once they leave, then the code goes away and then you can't get it in anymore. So that's why, but they have to replace the doors in order to put this lock on it. It's an old set of doors basically. And so that's the only other thing that we're working on. We already put a TV in there and we already have it all set and ready to go. We got chairs for the back and it should all be good. So, and then the line 4 is what we've paid so far and what we still have to pay for John Cooper or John Mixon of the Cooper Mixon architect firm to make the plans for the expansion. And then you'll vote on that next meeting to say whether you want to do that or not. He's going to put that out for bids, I think next week, and then they'll go out and then we'll get them back. So anyway, but that's what all the projects are and everything. So I don't know if anybody has questions on that. And then you can see the block below that. They're just our 4 investments accounts, and they all, as you can see, they all went up, except for the aquarium balance that actually went up, but then we took money out to pay ourselves back for the aquarium, so that kind of stayed the same. So I would need a motion to just accept all of that.
Lily Zan moves that we approve the budget as presented for the year
Do I
2020.
hear a second?
Rick, I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Okay, so
Motion carried.
I think if we can
Bill,
let,
you have the floor now.
yeah, if we can let Jeff sneak in here and talk about the audit, and then we can go on with the meeting. I don't want to hold him up or anything like that, so. So this is Mr. Jeff Wicker. If some of you don't know him, he works for Thomas Spate and Noble, and they usually do our audit every year. And so I just wanted him to come and sort of walk you through it. I think I sent everybody a copy of that as well. And so if you wanted to look onto your copy.
All right, everyone hear me okay? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Had a little microphone issues a moment ago, so I'm hoping this works on the fly. You should all have a copy of the audit report in front of you. And what I want to do is kind of go to page 5 of the audit report. And this will be the balance sheet of the governmental funds. This is where we basically set forth the assets that are owned by the library and the debts that are owed by the library. And you see there the total assets amounted to $6,927,000. And that's comprised mainly of the cash that was in the bank, almost 5.5 million. And then the restricted cash and the temporary savings, those two accounts basically made up all of the assets of the library from a governmental perspective, let me say that. Then on the liability section, you see there we have current accounts receivable right at $349,000, and that with accrued salaries and related payments of $79,000 and a small amount of deposits payable, there's your total liabilities of the library of just under $430,000. So the actual fund balance of the library broken down into 3 different sections, but it totals just under $6,500,000. That is $5,459,000 of unassigned net assets, $501,000 of assigned assets, which that is the capital improvements fund, and then non-spendable $537,000. That is related to the endowments. So we, as we present these fund balances, you can see that basically there's $5,459,000 of what we would commonly refer to as general fund assets that are not spoken for, not earmarked for any other use that the library can use. The next page, and please feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have a question. In this format, raising your hand definitely gets my attention. So however you want to do that. The next page, on page 6, is actually the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. This is basically the income statement of the library. You see there, the first section, we've broken down the types of revenues earned by the library. They totaled $4,359,000. The majority of that, as you can see, is in property tax revenues, $3,718,000. Then the expenditures section, you see there the various ways that the funds were used. And these are all, what we would consider general fund expenditures. They totaled $3,790,000 for a total increase in the net fund balance of $569,000 for the year. And we, at the bottom of that page, we couple that with, in governmental auditing, we just kind of have to segregate some of these assets a little bit, report some on one schedule and others on the other schedule. But you see there, government funds report capital outlays as expenditures. So as we take these capital outlays of $327,000, we add those back to the fund balance of the library. You can see the library actually had an overall change in net position, an increase of $896,000 for the year. I just wanted to kind of explain to you the governmental reporting on that net income, basically, of the library. The rest of the audit report basically consists of notes that explain some of the assets, some of the business transactions, some of the estimates, et cetera, of the library. I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have on those. But as far as financial information, I think this may be all that you want to hear from me tonight. You want to go on with the rest of your meeting. So this is all I had, unless you have any other questions.
Jeff, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the last page of the audit where it has, you're talking about the qualified opinions there.
Yes, sir.
At the very top, the first one, the basis for qualified opinion, says the library has not yet determined the cost of its defined benefit pension plan in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. Is there something that the library needs to do, or is that just something that is standard for libraries?
It's actually standard for most government, or basically all governmental agencies, except for at the county level, or maybe even at the state level. The library participates in the APERS retirement program.
Yes.
So all library employees are considered state employees, and all of their assets are pulled together basically in one fund. The library gets a report that shows this is the library's portion, but it doesn't really break it down enough for us to look at it in an audit report situation. And this is not specific to the library. This is any governmental agency, like I said, below the county and the city level and the state level.
Gotcha.
This is how, unfortunately, how it's done. This change came about just a few years ago, and the qualified opinion is basically it's a good opinion, with the exception of that one piece of information that we just couldn't get.
Yeah.
And that's not any negative impact on the library or anything like that. It's
right. It's nobody's fault.
The way the state reports it.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve the audit?
I so move, Mike Johnson.
Second?
Rick, I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Is that all we need from Jeff, David?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you very much
All
for
right.
the explanation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good evening. Thank you very much.
You too. You too. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
So I guess we need to backtrack now to our investments accounts. You want to talk about that, David?
Yeah, so all the investment accounts basically went up, as you can see. Usually for the nanny case, we spend that on genealogy material. And then there's the capital improvement account, which we haven't touched for a while. That's kind of our another safety net that the library has, and that just stays there in case we ever really need to go into that. The Ruth Dakas endowment, we've used that either for large print, or sometimes the board will designate another area that we think we could use it in. And I think the last time we might have split it between large print, and I want to say I think it was some of the electronic material, but I don't remember exactly at this point. But I mean, we usually take whatever we've earned, and now I'm not sure that we touched any of those this past year, to be honest with you. I think that we just left them all in there. So I think this past year we didn't use any of the genealogy because we had money left over, and we couldn't have a genealogy night, and we couldn't have the one in the winter time, and we couldn't do anything. So and then we were a little bit down on what we were ordering and what we were able to get. So I think they all stayed in there. And then the last one, if you remember, Mrs. Bauer wanted to give that in memory of her husband, and she pays for the saltwater tank that's in the front of the library, and she also pays for the maintenance back in the children's as well. And so usually we'll take some money out of that. So I'm sure that probably made some money. But when we took out whatever we usually pay it each month, and then at the end of the year we pay the library back for it, is what we do. And so I'm sure that's the only reason that kind of came out pretty even Steven this year. So, and I told you before that used to be at least a hot. That's AutoZone. I'm telling you, people, you need to invest in AutoZone, because when she gave that to us, it was a lot lower. So I'm just telling you. So anyway, but yeah, they're the investment account. So.
So you want to talk about the revised budget now?
Yeah. So you guys, when you made your motion, I know Jeff was in there, but you guys had made a motion to accept the 2020 budget and the special projects and the investment accounts all at once. I'm just checking to make sure you did all that, right? Okay. So on page 6 is the revised budget. And normally we have this mostly because we don't know exactly how much money we're going to get in taxes. We usually are very conservative with what we say. So you can tell on line 1 that we thought we would get about $3,833,000, and we ended up collecting $4,023,000. So there was an increase there. We also got more money in interest from the accounts that sat in the bank. That's what we get on those interests, because we're forward funded, if you remember. And so it sits there all year. So we got that. So that's all to the good. That gave us a difference of about 150 something thousand dollars up in the top on line 8. Okay, more than what we thought we were going to have in the budget. So, but there are 2 spots that we'd like to ask if we could increase. So one of them is line 20. We'd like to put an extra $20,000 in there, because we had already upped it for this year, but we don't think that we upped it quite enough. And we think it's going to be a while till everybody gets the vaccine, until everybody is safe to go out again and everything like that. So we wanted to ask you if we could add an extra $20,000 to that budget, so we could buy more electronic books and electronic audio books and things like that. And then the other spot is line 32, and we had talked about that before. And so this audit was about 9,000 for what we had set aside for last year, but actually Jeff's bill came in a little bit more than that. So we wanted to up that to 25,000 because we have to pay him. In fact, we just paid him, and then we're going to have to do another audit this year for 2020, and it still should come out of this budget. So both of those reasons, we wanted to, they were the three changes, or there's two for the income, which we don't have any control over, but there were two changes that we wanted to revise for the 2021 budget. So.
Do I hear any questions?
I guess, why did we get behind on that? Like, our 2019, and that's the one we just approved, and then we still got 2020 to go?
Yeah, normally they ask us for all of that stuff in September. And so, or when do they ask us for that? Sorry.
I was just.
They start asking us for stuff in May, but we were still in the beginnings of figuring out the pandemic. So I'm sure they themselves got behind. And then we had to, they started around September with us, right. October.
Yeah, normally we get him to come in like the October, November meeting for that year. But I think just because of the way things were, we were behind, they were behind. It wasn't anything that anybody did or did not do, really. It was just, I mean, they ask us for an initial, you've been through an audit. I mean, they ask you for the initial paperwork, you give it to them, but then they always come back with all the questions. And I guess that just came back slower than what we normally would get it, and then we give it back to them, and then they have other questions. And I think the other issue was they had a new person that wasn't familiar with how our business ran. So there was a couple of times when we spent some time with that person trying to explain how exactly we run our business and everything. And so it wasn't Jeff that did it, and he's the one that probably knows more about it, but I think he was on to other things. And so anyway,
my main concern was if we change that, I mean, that's kind of like a red flag. Do we need to make some note in the minutes to explain that situation? Just a simple note saying that it was COVID related, or due to COVID delays, this adjustment was made.
We can, I mean, we can say the reason why that was made if you want. I mean, I think the whole 2020 is going to be a COVID adjustment, and I think in part sort of 2021 is going to be that as well. I asked Sarah why we don't start that earlier, or Jordan. Like, I would be happy to start the audit. I don't see why we can't start it now, but I don't know if they're busy getting everybody else's tax stuff done, that maybe the CPAs don't want you to start doing that until after April when they get everybody else's taxes. Because I think that they're working on that now, and maybe they just don't have time to do an audit for us. But I agree with you that I wish it would be done earlier, but yeah. So we'll just put an asterisk there and put it down that it was because it was 2 years that we're paying for. And well, so that next year we'll put that back down to its normal levels in the budget again. Yeah.
Mainly just wanted to cover the bases because some other people may be reading the minutes and they'll question that kind of thing.
Right.
So do I have a motion for y'all to make these corrections to the budget?
Also move, subject to the note proposed about the reasoning for the adjustment to the audit amount.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second, Jean Passmore.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. But motion carries. So now you need to talk about the bank bids.
Well, I do want to point out on page 7, before we get to the bank bids, that the special project account. So we just wanted to show you that we still have to pay John some of his funds. We still have some for like the Brooklyn branch, which totals $79,000. But you see where the account started there, and then we estimated a surplus. So by the end of the year, if we don't spend anything in there, it should be about $2,485,000. Okay. So, but that's going to hopefully go down if we can get a good bid on the expansion. Then that will go down some, of course, but that should still give us a goodly amount to really consider that. So that, like I said, if we're going to present that at the next meeting, we'll have the bids that we get from all the places. I'll have John come in and explain it all. And then at that moment, then you guys will decide whether you want to go forward with that expansion or whether you don't want to go forward with that expansion. But this is the fund that money would come from. Okay. Okay. Any questions about that before we go on to the bank interest bids? We're all good. So we really only got 3 bids in. We're currently at Simmons Bank now. And this is for 2 years. If you remember, a couple years ago, we found out that the reason that we were struggling to get any kind of bids at all were because banks preferred us to do actually 3 years. But I think that the board was not comfortable going out that far at any one place. And so we just decided to do it for 2 years. So as you can see, Simmons actually just edged out Centennial Bank by 0.01%. They're not really paying that much, and they haven't been paying that much for a while. But in any case, Simmons is at 0.20%. Centennial was at 0.19. And then Sarah can tell you why the Arvest had a range, but that was all less than the other two in any case. But and then their savings account was only at 0.05. So my recommendation, well, I mean, you're going to get the most money from Simmons. We're actually happy in some ways that happened because it does cost us money to change from one bank to another bank. And in this way, it's just easier that we're still staying at the same bank for another 2 years. We already have a good relationship with them. We already know who we're working with there and everything like that. We don't have to change checks and do all that stuff. So, but I would need you guys to vote on which bid you would want to go for. And again, so we park all our money there, and then this is the interest that we make on the interest every year on the money that's parked in these 2 banks. And they agree to have it collateralized by 105%, which is a standard for government agencies and everything like that. And so,
well, David, if you guys have had no glaring issues with Simmons that you highlight, then I move that we accept the bid from Simmons.
Mike Johnson seconds it.
All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay. So Simmons it is.
okay.
David, do we have any new or old business or anybody that we need to talk about?
I think I've ended up telling you all the stuff that I wanted to tell you about all the way through. So, but does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I do have an item of new business. And frankly, it's a little uncomfortable because I don't know what the source behind it is or what's really going on. But I had a strange call with Councilman McLean last Friday, David McLean, and apparently, so there were 2 things he wanted to talk to me about, and he didn't tell me the source for this, and he couldn't tell me directly what the problem was. But the first item was that I gather it was a library employee that came to speak to him, and they stated that there was, some concern at the library that if people brought up, HR issues or something like that, then they might get fired. So I asked him, hey, look, is there a specific example is there something you want to tell me that you want to point me to because we're having a board meeting, we can talk about it? He said, no, not a specific example. It was just sort of this atmosphere issue. So I don't know if there was sort of a disgruntled problem with somebody or what happened, but obviously a city councilman called me about it. So I wanted to bring it up. I mean, David, any idea at all what might be behind that? If you guys had issues with some with employee facing stuff over there, any thoughts?
Yeah, we've had a couple different things going on. One, we put out a Facebook post that had gotten a bad reaction about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It was only up for about an hour and 45 minutes. We took it back down. We apologized publicly that we shouldn't have put it up. We were trying to sort of highlight Martin Luther King Day, but the way we did it was inappropriate. We didn't vet it as well as we should have. And so, and we had a couple of employees that I think were upset about that, but we sent out actually 2 apologies. We sent one internally to everybody, and then we sent one out on Facebook. And I think for the most part, everybody on Facebook, we got some thank yous for sending it out and everything like that. And then
What did you say?
the what? Well, it was kind of, I think the way it was we were trying to get people to interact with it. And it was supposed to be sort of pointing people to the I Have a Dream speech, but the way we put it out there, it ended up, I think some people took it that we were making fun of the I Have a Dream speech, which in no way were we trying to do that. We were trying to get people to go on the link and read the I Have a Dream speech and what it was all about and everything like that, and to point out some of the books that we had. So it was just kind of the way it just slipped out, and we didn't want it to go out like that. And so we took it back down again right away. Like I said, it was only up for about an hour and a half or so, but we apologized and everything. And so I can only think that that's probably the only thing that if it happened maybe 2 weeks ago, that probably would be in that same sort of time frame of when that happened, right? I can't think of really anything else. I mean, it's a place of business, so there's always some maybe issues going on with people that might be unhappy or things like that, and we work through them and we try to, we want everybody to be happy working at the library, but you know how it is. It's a job, and some people are not always happy all the time. But I can only think that that's probably what they were referring to. So,
I mean, the timing would make sense. When David called me on Friday, if that happened 2 weeks ago and they took about a week to communicate with David, and then he figured out what to do and got my number and called me, that could be kind of how that rolled out. What's the current, if we've got employee issues or whatever, like HR style stuff, what's the current submission route for that? I mean, who do they go to state their case or lodge a complaint or whatever it might be?
Yeah, so Jordan Wilson, who her official title is really the assistant to the financial manager or assistant to Sarah, but she's also handles our HR. Yeah. And then I also handled the HR as well. So if you remember, when I was the assistant director, I got I've maintained this sort of the SHRM CP or the PHR, whatever you want to call it. There's through a national SHRM organization. I took that test and I got that certification. And so between the two of us, we really work on it. But Jordan handles more of the day-to-day. She's the one that takes care of the APRs if there's problems or any of those kinds of things. So we do have a mechanism in place that they can come and talk to her, and yeah, we try to be very proactive with all of those things. And so, but that post went out, I think, on a Friday, and we took it back down on a Friday, or it went out on a Thursday. We took it back down on a Friday. I don't remember what day. Tanya's shaking her head no. So maybe it went out on a Monday. I don't know.
It was Monday.
Okay. But we issued the apologies right away and everything, and so yeah.
Okay. The other the second piece of it was, and I assume it's coming from the exact same source, and there may be coming across the board disgruntlement with the information they provided them, But they also brought up a budgeting issue, and essentially the thing they stated was that the library had purchased a 3D printer, and I think we've talked about this before, something to print like T-shirts, a graphic thing for T-shirts, and that they didn't know where those items were anymore in the library. Again, if it's coming from the same source, that may just be something that got thrown in there to try to have David approach somebody about it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We have a 3D printer in the back. I mean, it's still back there. They use it occasionally. Sometimes they've done programs with it to show people and things like that. I don't think you can make a T-shirt out of a 3D printer.
No, it was two different things. It was a 3D printer and then a something for T-shirts.
Oh, there is a T-shirt in the PR area
Yeah.
that you can print up some stuff. It's all there. Nothing's missing at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I figured, given, well, at any rate, that's what I figured to begin with. But
Right.
again, city councilman called me about it, so I had to
Yeah,
bring
I'm
it up.
sorry about that. If I had known, I would have given you a heads up, but nobody told me about anything, and so.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think they went privately to David, asked him to keep their identity quiet, and
Right.
then he and I graduated school together, so I think he ultimately settled on calling me.
I got
But no worries. I told him I would follow up, so that's just the information I'll convey to him.
Yeah.
And I'll tell him that if he has a more specific example he wants to bring up to me, to let me know, and I'll forward it on. So.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, we in fact, we've been trying to be more proactive with all of our employees. We just sent out a survey just a couple of weeks ago, and we got some responses. Tanya was working on it today to put together some things, and we're trying to, we're always trying to make things better. It's not my
Sure,
style
yeah.
of leadership to be dictatorial, as you can tell. I mean, I try to get everybody involved, and in my world, I wish everybody were happy to come to work. But like I said, sometimes you get people that either they're going through something and they're just not as happy as they are, or it just doesn't mesh with how we look at things. But yeah, I don't know. You can come in and talk to anybody you want to. I mean, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're pretty an open book, no pun intended, but yeah. So,
All right, that's it for me.
okay.
Thank you, Kurt, for bringing that up.
Yeah, really.
Anybody got anything else?
Oh.
No, not, I'd just like to say, having been on the board quite a few years, that I am so pleased with David's leadership and the difference in the atmosphere within this library, and the way he keeps us informed. I just think there's been so many improvements under his leadership. And I know if there's anything that needs to be addressed, I feel confident that he will do it. And just want to let you know how much I appreciate the job that you do for us and for our employees, for our county.
I appreciate that, but I will tell you that it's because we have a great staff here. It's really not me. We have a great staff, and so, but I appreciate you saying those kind words. So thanks.
Well, I echo Ms. Passmore's comments, and I almost laughed at David's reaction, because I was chatting with his children's library staff the other day, and I told them how much I appreciate their service, and they said, please tell David that we do a good job. And I said, you know what? He always says that. He appreciates such a great staff.
They do a great job over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my family loves the library.
Good to hear. Yeah.
A good staff can make you look really good, and a bad one can make you look really bad.
Well, we have
Yes,
a great.
and
we
it
have
also
great
makes a good
staff.
manager.
Yeah, we
He is
have a
very
great
good
staff.
manager.
Yeah, great staff.
A good manager. And you listen to people, David. That's a very special gift that you bring to us.
Thanks. Not a lot of people say that, because most of the time I'm talking. So that's the real compliment there, right?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
We appreciate you so much.
oh, me.
I hear a motion to adjourn?
Lily Zhang, so moved.
Second,
Kurt Hawkins seconds.
all in favor, aye? Opposed, nay? Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you all very
you.
much,
Take
and I will
care.
see you next month, okay, for our big vote. So, all right.
All right.